You know, it's amazing. They try to say that we don't talk about good news ever. Like, we never talk about anything positive on our channels. We only talk about negative things. Well, here we have an extremely positive story, and this is positive to us. This is why they're going to classify it as negative, even though it's positive information. But ladies and gentlemen, regardless, we're going to have a great time talking about this fact right now, is that Game Science's Black Myth Wukong has apparently sold over 10 million copies across all platforms in just 4 days.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if for some reason you didn't realize that this game was doing amazing, now you realize just how amazing the game is actually doing. This game has sold more copies than pretty much anything SBI has put on Steam combined, right? All these diversity, equity, and inclusion consultancy firms, every single game that they worked on has come nowhere close to this particular game. It's absolutely insane what this game has been able to pull off, but honestly, it is fucking beautiful. And look, 2.4 million players on Steam is nothing to scoff at. So the fact that there is millions more players with other platforms that are enjoying this game just goes to show that it is a deserving game of potentially Game of the Year. But unfortunately, it is going to get ignored by the industry, just like Hogwarts Legacy did. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, you guys already know from all the videos I've been making the amount of cope that is happening right now with Black Myth Wukong. You have people out there trying to convince you that 99.9% of the players playing this game are Chinese, as if that's ever mattered in the past before. Whenever they're talking about other games, DEI-oriented games that have actually released in China, when they talk about those games, they're not counting the amount of Chinese players they have, just like they're not counting the amount of American players they have. They only count the total number of sales that they get. But for some reason, when it comes to a game that's destroying their entire narrative, suddenly they want to count how many players are in each region, as if that fucking matters. Because at the end of the day, a sale is a sale, but they're going to cope no matter what. Black Myth Wukong developer Game Science reports the game has sold 10 million copies across all platforms in just 4 days. If I was them, I would rub that shit in. I would rub it in as much as humanly possible. I would make every single journalist, platform, every single one, report on it. I would make them fucking talk about it. In the next post, the developer wrote, Black Myth Wukong has sold 10 million copies across all platforms, data as of August 23rd, 2024. It added, thanks to all players worldwide for your support and love. Have a great gaming weekend. It is no surprise that Black Myth Wukong has had such astounding sales. The game broke the record on Steam for the most current players for a single-player game, and it currently sits in second for the most concurrent players of all time with 2.4 million players. In fact, the game has broken its own record every single day it's been released. It initially set the record on its release date with 2.2 million concurrent players. It broke that record 24 hours later with 2.3 million players, and in the last 24 hours, it broke that record again with 2.4 million players. This game is fucking unstoppable. I mean, look at this. People are playing the game, going to sleep, playing the game, going to sleep, playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could see the consistent wave. Because if this was an SBI game, you know what would happen? It would start here. It would go all the way down here and then flatline. It would never return. But the fact that people are returning more and more is showing that people are going to bed, waking up when they got free time, and playing the fucking game, and then going to bed again, and then doing that same thing over and over and over. This game is a ton of fun, and now that the performance has been seemingly patched, because I've been playing on cinematic mode with full ray tracing and everything, with no issues whatsoever, no crashes, no nothing. I had it that one day where I was streaming initially, and then it went away on the next day. So I don't know what they did, but the game is running flawlessly, and that makes me extremely happy. I would still dock points because they released the game in a shitty state, and I cannot support that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I have to dock points for it, but still, the game is fantastic. There is no doubt about it. It is a lot of fun. It is lore heavy. It is rich in Chinese history, and if you want to truly enjoy an experience that is actually diverse, not this bullshit diversity that they try to sell you superficially. I'm talking about actual real diversity, something that we don't really get too often in the gaming scene. You'll find it here, and you will thoroughly enjoy it while having a blast at the same time. The game is also the best-selling new game on the PlayStation Store, beating out EA Sports Madden, NFL 25, Valorant, 7 Days to Die, Hunt Showdown 1896, and Time Splitters. This fucking game beat Madden, bro. Madden on the PS5. That is insane. The game is currently the second bestseller for all PlayStation 5 games in the United States behind Fortnite. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, destroys the entire narrative of, oh, most of the people who are playing this are Chinese. This game is the second bestseller for all PlayStation 5 games in the United fucking States of America. The only game that is beating it is a free-to-play game that has insane levels of monetization that makes Epic Games insane levels of money. I mean, of course it's not going to make more money than that game, but Black Myth Wukong is number 2 in the United States for PS5 games. There is no doubt about it that this game is absolutely being supported by other people other than Chinese. Not that it matters, not that we need to even bring up that fucking fact, because at the end of the day, sale's a sale. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. This game is destroying it. As described by Game Science, Black Myth Wukong is an action RPG rooted in Chinese mythology, which is amazing because you would think that Chinese mythology would be enough diversity for these people who are obsessed with DEI, but apparently that's not the case. You have to have specific levels of diversity, and by specific, I mean as charred and black as humanly possible. You shall set out as a destined one to venture into the challenges and marvels ahead, to uncover the obscure truth behind the veil of a glorious legend from the past. The developers also add that the story is based on a journey to the West, one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. So again, ladies and gentlemen, diversity, equity, and inclusion is something that will absolutely destroy a project from within if the developers lead with it first and they try to make it the central focal point of whatever there is they're developing. This game is destroying every single narrative out there about DEI in video games. There is no doubt about it. All the bullshit that we've been hearing for months, actually longer than that, years, all the bullshit we've been hearing for years got destroyed with one singular game. Multiple different narratives have all now tanked because of Black Myth Wukong, and that is not the fault of Black Myth Wukong. Again, I don't understand why all of a sudden it is a bad thing that Chinese people are supporting a domestic game. I don't understand why that would even be classified or separated when we're talking about sales stats. It's never been separated before, but now all of a sudden they want to separate it because not only is this game doing well, right? This is not even considered doing well. This is considered in a whole nother fucking universe. This is a whole nother stratosphere of doing well, right? It's not even in the same category of doing well. This game has destroyed everything that these DEI losers have been holding on to. And the more that it continues to sell, it's only been 4 days. The more that it continues to sell, the more they're going to continue to melt down and cope and seethe. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.